it's 50 degrees, and I'm thinking, why on earth am I doing this? Like, oh my gosh. One of the skills that you build after living on the road for 3 years, currently in McCall, Idaho right now, is you get an idea of when it's your time to go. So yesterday, I really wanted to leave Idaho. I knew it was time, so I started driving, but then decided I had to come back and swim to this island in Lake McCall before I left. Should have just seen a clip of that, but as soon as I decided that, I drove back to McCall. I got a speeding ticket. I'm dealing with tech issues with my business this morning. Things are just like, I can tell it's time to go, but I promised I would swim to this island because I wanted to film a YouTube video and I wanted to test my limits, see how tough I am. So we're gonna go do it today, and then we're headed out to Oregon, which is desperately needed. So let's get some breakfast and get started on episode 3 of a day in #vanlife. McCall is one of those special towns that I love spending time in every time I come to Idaho. And when I got here this time, I found an island on the other side of the lake that I just couldn't help but want to swim to. So fueling up with a little bagel sandwich, and now we're on the way to go see if we can conquer an island. All right, let me show you the island. That's where I want to swim to. That's it. It's 50 degrees right now. I saw that island when I got here and I was like, dude, I gotta swim to that. I gotta swim to that, but it's 50 degrees and I'm thinking, why on earth am I doing this? Like, oh my gosh. Let's get it done though. Let's go. This is the start of one of the hardest swims I've ever done in my life. First off, I had to bring a paddleboard to attach a GoPro to so I could actually film this. So I was dragging extra weight all the way there with these ropes tied around my neck that did not feel good. Probably could have been done better. But the worst part about this was that the water is not warm. It's not the furthest I've ever swum. It's not the most weight I've ever dragged when swimming. I was on the swim team in high school, but this is the coldest water right now. It's in June. On this same day, it was hailing. It's 50 degrees outside, and this was cold. So come along for the journey. By this final stretch in the swim, my fingers were cramping up where I couldn't make a cup with my hands anymore to stroke water. I was slowing down. It was so hard, so I was so happy when I finally made it. And you can see how tired I was. I could barely walk when I got out of the water, but I made it. Yes! It took 15 minutes, almost 15 minutes of swimming in this freezing cold lake in 50-degree weather in the clouds, and I made it. And now I'm on an island. Check out the island. So my lip is quivering and I'm starting to shiver, like I'm starting to set in just how cold I am right now. So that's the reason I brought and pulled the paddleboard behind me. I just had to tie a rope because I knew swimming back in this weather was gonna be really hard, even if I even made it. I'm so proud of myself that I made it. So I'm gonna try to make it back kind of fast on the paddleboard, warm up in the van, and then we can start heading to Oregon, just so I don't get hypothermia out here. Let's go. Okay. I've been sitting here for a few minutes and I'm starting to feel like I'm not gonna freeze to death. So let's go get the paddleboard back to the nice rental company and head to Oregon. Let's go. I gotta wear my dirty shirts. I've been driving about 3.5 hours and it's time for a little bit of a break because I don't think I'm gonna make it all the way to Bend, Oregon, where I'm heading tonight for a van life meetup coming later this month, but I am going to make it into the pretty parts of Oregon right now. And this is a really cool part of the country, so let's go for a walk. Whenever I travel, I like to study the rivers and fish of wherever I am. The reason why is because you could think of these as like the blood veins of the ecosystem. These rivers distribute nutrients to the entire forest. And the reason why and how is that when fish migrations happen, salmon migrations, trout migrations, they come up these rivers with nutrients from our oceans all the way back to their historic spawning grounds where they die and release their nutrients into the ecosystem. Birds of prey will take them off into the forest, bears will eat them, and the nutrients is dispersed everywhere you look. However, since the damming of rivers and creation of impassable barriers for fish, so many of the fish that used to migrate here, like the Chinook salmon, which is no longer here, used to turn this river red with how many fish would come up, red-skinned fish spawning. Today, they are not here anymore. There are still a few special fish like the red band trout, native and relative of the rainbow trout, but a lot of the fish like the salmon runs are no longer here. And one of the things I like to think about whenever I see rivers like this is it's so beautiful today. What if I could be part of bringing those fish back and making it even more beautiful and the forest even more beautiful with more nutrients from the ocean one day? I really want to be part of that. That is a full day in van life. Now we're here in a pretty little mountain town on the edge of the hill country and the mountain country in Oregon. Long drive, very long swim, but that's gonna do it. I'm gonna go to bed right over here where you just saw me got out of the van, wake up tomorrow, go take some Zoom calls, and then driving to Bend, Oregon, where I'll catch up with you at the Overlander van life event. So stay tuned for the next episode. If you liked it and want to see more stuff and get invites to come on group trips, click the link in the description, join my Wander Blue email list, and I'll see you in the wild very soon. Stay wild, be free. Peace out.